Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 2016's Hangs Upon Nothing. This is 16 millimeter surf film. This is put out by Etiquette Pictures, Vinegar Syndrome's sister company. They only have a couple releases, and I've looked at all of the other Etiquette Pictures releases on this YouTube page, so please feel free to check them out as well. This is their most modern release. This is the back of this beautiful, earthy, awesome slipcase cover, just like the film, earthy. And we have on the back here a summary written, and I'll read it. A sensory surf film experience shot entirely on 16 millimeter by first-time filmmaker Jeremy Rumas, set to an original score by the filmmaker's band Velo Sun. Journey to the Far Reaches of Earth. Here it is, folks. Hangs Upon Nothing, 2016. Let's get into this film. This is a film that is I believe it's 91 minutes. 91 minutes. It is a 91-minute experience. I looked at a movie from my favorite director on this YouTube page called Paula Paula. And Paula Paula was a more recent Jess Franco film, which he called an audiovisual experience. And I will call Hangs Upon Nothing an experience. I mean, it even says in the summary in the back of the case, a sensory experience, film experience. And this film is a meditation. It is a trip. It feels surreal. It feels timeless. You truly enter into another cinematic world for 91 minutes. There is very little dialogue in this film, and none of it is live, it seems. There are some snippets of narration from different characters that are showcased in the film, different surfers. And it's really in the way that this meditative cinematic experience tells its story that brings it into another stylistic realm. I sometimes will say, or a lot of the times will say, from the movies that I look at on this YouTube page, the style is the substance. And in Hangs Upon Nothing, it's within the style that the story is told. It's within the flashes, the pink and yellow and white flashes of the actual 16 millimeter film. It looks like, I don't really know technically, but it seems to be like at the end of the tape or the end of the roll or something. And you get those. And you get the timeless edits and cuts within the film that go seamlessly to different locations, underwater and above water, on the shore and in the water, daytime and nighttime, cityscape and nature, the jungle, concrete and nature. I called the film a meditation, a cinematic meditation, and since there is so little dialogue in this film, the filmmaker's band is the showcase. The music is providing you the story, coupled with the images that we're looking at. It's a film about surfing. It's a film that connects surfing with meaning and purpose in life, our existence, human existence across cultures, across the whole earth. What is the earth? What is our lives? What are our passions? And as one of the characters states, in a way, why is that passion there? Where are we going? Where do we want to go? Why are we going? Traveling. How should we be living our lives? Should anybody be defining that or not? A nomadic experience. No ties except your surfboard and passion, and adapting to other cultures, new experiences. One of the characters states that surfers are people who look at the world differently. They look at things that would scare the normal person, and it doesn't scare them as much as it intrigues them and compels them into those zones that would scare the average day-to-day person. The spirituality of human existence, the communal nature of human existence, our longing for others, and at the same time, the solitary existence as well, and our longings for that. I couldn't help but notice there was, just in the traveling in the film, there were these, kind of these vehicles going through the jungles or going through these dirt roads, and people kind of hanging off motorcycles, no helmets. There was what looked to be a 2 or 3 year old baby, hanging her head outside of this window of a vehicle going through the jungle, and a completely different reality and existence from the urban American landscape of car seats and regulations and registration and insurance. And safety. We travel in hangs upon nothing without the safety ropes of what human existence is defined as typically. But letting go of those safety ropes and being led completely by the communal experience of passion, both family, friends, simply, in a way, hangs upon nothing shows that the world is not just what we see, feel, and experience in our own little world, that the world goes far beyond that. And in this film, the surfboard is the medium of that. I stated that the style of this film tells the story in a very open-ended, not pandering to the viewer at all, but done in a way that speaks through visual art, speaks through music, and tells you the story. And if you don't catch everything, and if you don't understand everything, you are that's okay. Because the story is far beyond only what you understand. And that's part of the theme I got from this film. It goes beyond that. So if when you don't understand, you're like a surfer and you're intrigued by what you don't understand rather than scared of it. We travel with the variety of surfers in this film, and we move from surfer to surfer seamlessly as the music in this film seamlessly connects. Sometimes very, very directly moving with the visual images of the film, and then other times kind of making its own images. The music making its own images. Sometimes we have sounds which seem to be coming from the location where we are at visually in the film, mixing with the music. Now, the music in this film is predominantly without lyrics, without singing, should I say. It reminds me of music that could be in a Sofia Coppola film, and I love Sofia Coppola. That emotional intensity of a Sofia Coppola soundtrack mixed with, there's a band from some years back called Explosions in the Sky. The emotional ebbs and flows just like the ocean, surging forward and then quiet. There's an indie sensibility to the score of this film, but then it also has the sounds of different cultures, almost religious, chanting, singing, playing. There are elements to the score that flirt with surf music, but mixing it into the world of emotional power and intensity. There is not 1 second to the score of this film that is not powerfully emotionally intense. Every layer, every song in the score is that much more amazing. And it needs to be, because that is the music in Hangs Upon Nothing really is the dialogue. And when we get the snippets of narration in this film, when it's coupled with the music that's already in existence over the visual images, it's a potent concoction, without a doubt. The film feels psychedelic at times. It feels surreal, timeless, as I mentioned, yet incredibly dense, philosophical, spiritual, emotional, and they're very, very intense. And as I said, all of those adjectives, you would not be able to clearly pinpoint the exact pieces that lead me to that conclusion, because Hangs Upon Nothing is communicating cinematically with the subconscious. Heart, soul, what is that? The mind, hypnosis, as I mentioned many times already, a meditation. You're completely caught up in this, as it says, sensory surf film experience. And you're moving with it as if you're surfing through the waves of this film. The film itself is like waves. You're caught up. You're feeling things. You're feeling things. And you can't necessarily define what those things are. as you can't necessarily clearly, logically define the story. It's beautiful, beautifully shot. Unbelievable underwater photography, unbelievable kind of point of view surfing photography, and then also lots of shots of surfing from a distance, and almost documentary. Very, this is a documentary as well. It's real people on the streets, real people in the cities, real people on the beaches. It reminded me a lot of the Sofia Coppola film Lost in Translation, where there's a scene where Scarlett Johansson enters into this room inside of a hotel where she sees, I believe, these Japanese women doing things with paper. And she doesn't speak their language, and so she's caught up in this. And she somehow figures out communication with these Japanese women and starts to do things with the paper. The women are teaching her or communicating with her the elements of the paper, and she starts to do it too, completely involved inside of another world where she cannot communicate in the normal way that she communicates. Hangs upon nothing communicates on that level to the viewer. There's a piece of the film where there's a snippet of the narration from a character, from a person, and all of a sudden it just ebbs away while they're talking and kind of fades and goes away. And you can't hear the rest of it. In many regards, this film is a universal language. You could show this film, of course, the dialogue is spoken in English, some of it hard to understand, or kind of broken English in a way. But it's universal language because it speaks through images and music. There you go. Beautiful photography. Lots of slow motion in the film, which brings the emotional intensity. And a couple times things are sped up as well. We spend time in the sky, in the clouds, above the earth. We spend time in the water. We spend time in the jungle. We spend time in the city. We spend time in the streets. We spend time with people not necessarily understanding or knowing where they're going or what they're doing or what they're saying. And so this movie communicates cinematically in another language. And then we view and experience the art, moving image art, sound art of this film in another language as well, in our own language. Our own language, our own viewing, our own senses, connecting to the senses and the language of the music and the visual images of this film. And it brings a concoction, a lysergic concoction that goes beyond. This is 2016's Hangs Upon Nothing, right here, folks, put out by Etiquette Pictures. This is an unbelievable experience that goes well beyond words. I tried my best. This thing, wow, I'm going to be buying the soundtrack on their Bandcamp site. Unbelievable. I picked this up off the Vinegar Syndrome site directly. Wow. This was something special right here, folks. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like 2016's Hangs Upon Nothing by Jeremy Rumas. I believe his name is, I just want to get his name correct, Jeremy Rumas, yes. First-time director. Unbelievable. Documentary, meditation, different language. Please feel free to check out my own personal films by Googling Apartment 1014 Films, Apartment 1014 Films. Thank you so much, and good night.